Following the recent release of the 2014 Mine Health and Safety figures, Mining Weekly spoke with international law firm Hogan Lovells partner and mining head Warren Beech about the significance of these statistics, as well as his views on the proposed amendments to the Mine Health and Safety Act.
The starting point is that the figures that have been released are seemingly accurate figures. So the basis is correct, and on year, the figures have improved. And that can only mean that there is an improvement somewhere. There are obviously people that are looking at it in a particular way. In other words, they're saying if you've got a 5-month protracted strike, people are not at work, therefore it's going to improve the figures. And it may be so. It may very well be so. And we were hard hit by a number of strikes last year, not just the platinum strikes, and that would have meant that people were not at work at the time. But having said that, the reintegration of employees and the workforce back in after a protracted strike is a high-risk period. And that's why the Department of Mineral Resources and the mines were committed and had to give significant commitments before they restarted operations on training, on carrying out audits, inspections of the underground workings. There was a dangerous period. There was a risky period. And we got through that risky period quite well as an industry. And when I talk about the industry, I'm talking about all the stakeholders, so government, trade unions, and mining companies. And that showed an improvement, and it showed a commitment to improvement. It showed that it can be done. And that's what's the important thing. The issue is how to keep it going, and particularly after you have this massive focus on health and safety, and then production gets back into normal, people get back into their normal cycles and swing of things. Do they take the eye off the ball because they've got through this period where everybody was sensitive? And that's really the question, is can it be sustained, and can that improvement be sustained into 2015? The Mine Health and Safety Act is an extremely good piece of legislation. We compare favorably internationally and with the countries on the continent. The legislation is really good. It's got some good pieces in it. It's got some good components in it that really goes to the heart of health and safety. The proposed amendments fall into 3 categories. Administrative, really dealing with those aspects, tidying up a few things, secondly, such as the definitions, but the concern is the bigger stick that is proposed to be built in. Changing administrative fines. Now, administrative fines are imposed on the companies. Current limit is R1 million per contravention. The intention or the proposal is to then move that to a percentage of turnover. That is a potentially huge stick. It is potentially a game changer in the sense that it can shut operations. Operations that face those levels of fines based on turnover can go out of business. And unfortunately, what we're seeing at the moment is an increase in business rescue of mining companies and the contractors serving those mining companies. This may just add to the increase in business rescues. So they're concerning. And then, of course, making the chief executive officer, usually an individual, trying to make that person ultimately responsible. The Mine Health and Safety Act already creates liability for the chief executive officer. The proposed amendments want to make the CEO responsible effectively for signing the last piece of document on each mine. And practically speaking, groups, large mines, it's not going to work.